and welcome back to Oakley Hour and day 11 of our hanging garden, and this is where we are looking. So nice to see the dangly light that we made, and it's still staying up and it's very wobbly. Wait, stay still, where are you? There he is. Shh. Quieten down. So we will be threading these wires through this hole. One of the things I omitted to do, and I'm going to get to do that straight away, is on our base. Obviously, if you're doing it by the book, you're not going to have your electrics box attached at this stage. However, I do, and we have these two pieces that need to go on here. I'm just seeing if there's a difference with how they go, because I believe they both had the same number and they're both very loose. Okay, so let's wood glue them in, and I'm going to leave that a little while, and I'm going to get those wires threaded through as well, which will eventually come onto here. And then we are mostly working initially on some pillars which don't require either of these, which we need to do 3 sets of 3 of everything, and we would also be working on and then we're going to be working on wiring first. So all of that's done before we ever get to decorate the inside of our dome here at the bottom. So at the moment we've got the top part. I did realise that we hardly used, I don't think we used any butterflies at the top there, and we have a whole sheet of very difficult to cut out butterflies. But I think we are going to be using some of these at the bottom. But I'm actually surprised we're not using them at the top. So I'll just put that to one side. And I'll get these wires in. Just want to make sure that that's not going to go anywhere, because our base is going to be fitting on there. And this piece of paper is ready to go around. So all I'm going to do is put through here the wires, and there's going to be another wire due, which is from one of the pillars I'm going to be making, but I'm pretty much going to put most of the pillars together before I attach it into this hole here. And like I said, there's 3, so I'll test fit this piece before putting everything together, and then I'll carry on, build everything, put pretty much everything on, and it will be all ready then to go. So that's 2 wires through, and it's just going to be easier to do before we put that pillar on. And when we get the pillar ready, the first thing I will do is thread those wires, hopefully, if I remember. Well, not the first thing. First thing I'm going to do is test it against the wall to make sure it fits okay, because we don't need to be struggling with it when it's going to have windows on, because that's the stage I want it to have. Then we'll make it, and then I'll thread it through before fixing it to the house. So it's going to be a slightly different order, but this will enable us. Now I was going to put on the top of that dome up here, I was going to put some decoration here. I have not done that as yet. I may still do it, but at the moment I haven't. This is going to be hidden, by the way, by the pillar. I haven't, because there isn't much of that grass stuff left, so I want to make sure we've got enough for the main build. But afterwards, if I still feel it needs it, then I will plop some in. So let me go and get these stuff for this pillar ready to go. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is test these fit. So pop, they fit easy. Okay, alright, you're not going to have a problem with this. Okay, because like I say, I'm going to build these towers that are going to go here before I attach them, and that's not how they say to do it. So let me get rid of this. I'm going to get all these edges coloured, and also there's some window pieces we're going to be using, and I want to get all those edges done, so that's going to take me a mo. So I'll be back in a little bit. Alright, so I've gone over the white ones. It's okay, I did the inside as well as the outside, making sure particularly got the tabs. Possibly going to need another coat, and the only thing I did, finally I got the brown marker. I haven't had one of these forever, was to go over where I had sanded, and I certainly didn't go in between the windows, which is what the brown ones mainly are. So what I'm going to do, and remember, please remember that these are not the order that they suggest to do it. In fact, this is the last one that you do with them already standing up and in place. But I'm going to do this, and I'm going to leave them for a while in order to make sure that they have taken, and I'm going to just use wood glue for that. So they're in different piles because I'm trying to keep with the stages on the book, even though like I say, I'm doing it different. So these are all identical, doesn't matter which way up they go. I'm just checking myself actually. Yeah, so it doesn't matter which side they go on, everything's the same. Okay, so just gonna pop a window on each of them and let them fully dry. Like I said, the book says to do this quite a way in after you've done all the wiring and everything. But I'm going to get this done just because I find things a little bit easier when they're horizontal, well, when they're lying down basically, than when they are upright, because they do have a tendency, especially if you use wood glue, for things to slip. So I'm just going to do another one of these ones, just line it up and leave them to sit. And I do have something else I could do as well, and then I can leave that to sit. So then these ones are slightly different. It's a nice rounded window, and these you have a choice which side to put. This one's going to be my outside. I had a few snags in the wood when they came out. Those are going to go on the inside, so I'm just going to check to make sure that it doesn't matter which way round these ones are, and they look identical. Hold on. Okay, so let's get one of these done, and then I'll get the rest of them done off camera. It's up to you whether you go all the way around or you do little blobs. Anyone who knows and has seen any of my models, I do prefer wood glue when it is wood rather than using B7000 or tacky or anything, but sometimes you have to use different glues. Alright, well, let me get into all of these and I will be back. Okay, those are all on. The next part I'm going to get ready so we can sit is also to do with these pillars. Which is three pieces which are going to go on here. One is going to go on each of the pillars when we get it done. So it doesn't matter which side you use as long as it sits flush. And they are very loose fitting. I've got the others just sitting off on the same paper actually. I have quite a few with the greaseproof paper. Quite a few pieces of greaseproof rather. So although I separated all of these out so that I could follow kind of the steps for each part, they're all over the show right now. We will be putting 3 lights on as well, by the way. And the only piece for this that I'm not going to be using, I believe, is going to be this set. And those go on horizontally on top of the pillars, and I can do that when we put them in. So let me let these dry along with this, and we will get back and start making our pillars. Okay, I think the first sides have probably had long enough. Just clean this up quickly. Got some of these little purple things. Should have done this while it was still wet there. Because although wood glue dries clear, if you have any globs like that, they will show. One sec, of course. She's quiet as a mouse until I record. It's really funny. Maybe she thinks I'm talking to her and she doesn't want to be seen as ignoring me. I don't know. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to pop those to one side and we'll start dealing with these. Alright, so now I'm pretty much following the directions that are said. So you want to take your 3 bases and you repeat this 3 times. So it's exactly the same as what I'm doing, except for the fact you won't have your windows on. So you want to put these in here. I don't know if they are going to be loose. Not terrible. And just make sure that they are this way around. You can't, I was going to say you can't go wrong, you just want it to be opposite what that notch is. You can go wrong, even I can go wrong. That's why I make the mistakes, so you hopefully don't have to. That's the idea. So they are quite loose, but because we're going to be putting in parts with it, we should be okay. So now what you want to do is, with the tab, this facing towards you, like so, is you are going to put in this wall here. So, just trying to, nope, do the opposite of what I just said. You're going to do, well, hold on. Okay, on one of them, you're going to put it this side. On the other one, other two, you are going to put it on the opposite side. So this one I am going to glue in. How's it fitting? Let me just see. Okay, so it goes on the inside of these. Okay. So you're going to have one looking like so. And then the other two has them on the opposite side. So it has them on here. Make sure if you've put your windows in already, they are facing outwards. And just put one on because next we're going to put wires in. And you do want them to line up quite well. So I'm going to use a bit of masking tape on this, because this one really wants to go inwards, just that it's level on the edge. I'm not sure how much it matters. And then the last one is exactly the same as this one. Make sure they're all the way down. That one's kind of having a little walk. It should be okay. So again, it's going to go this side. If you put wood glue on a little bit before you use it, by the way, it starts to get a little tacky, and it does make it a little bit easier for lining up to things. Not that I did that, but if I had of, then it would have made it a bit easier. This one's actually a tighter fit than the others. But the pieces are all identical, they're identically numbered and everything, so it's just you're putting them on a different way. Okay, and we're going to give that a moment, and then we're going to be putting the lights into these before we do the other sides. So I'm just going to go over here. These can go away. And we have 3 lights, and I won't be using this. And what you want to do for all 3 is put them into the corners. So you're going to run it up like that, so that the bulb is facing towards the bottom. Eventually this will turn upside down, and it's going to not be the way direction is right now. So let's see, what shall we use? A little bit of tacky, I think. That's probably the quickest. So remember, this has not dried yet. This one has quite a bit of glue on excess. I will check the others. Let's have a look at you. Oh, you're not terrible. Oh, this one's not bad either. Just the last one I did. Obviously it was more generous with the old glue. Okay. Alright. And then just lie it down. Pop some sort of glue in there to put your wire in. And remember, my sides aren't dry yet, so I'm just going to have to put them down like so. So basically, you want it in and going across the back, front, back, front. So you want it to be folded this way and going up like so. I'll show you in a sec if I'm not sure what you're seeing on that. Okay, so you want it lying across like so. I don't think as much as that though, guys. You fold it. You fold your wire. I know, makes me nervous too. And then put it in like so. Which is not going to want to stay. We know this. Get some tape on the inside of that. I think all the tacky's come off on my hands, to be honest with you. And you could use B7000 for this part. You could use Bondic as well. The only downside of Bondic that I found, to be honest, is the fact it does have that quite a yellow stain to it, which I didn't like. Okay. It really does not want to go in there. You know what? I think I've got a clamp. Hold on. I've got two of the more gentle clamps, so push it into the corner and clamp it there and tell it that it can't move. So basically you've got it folded at the end and a little bit running along this wall here, going along here. Pointy stick now. Okay, so you folded your bulb, you've got the bulb itself is underneath here, and then the rest of it goes up the side here. And just put one more piece of tape along here, just to hold it in place. And you do that with all three, so I'll do another one. I've got two of the smaller clamps with me. The other I'd have to go and get from its keeping place. Okay, so first of all, fold your bulb. So you want to fold it just about where those wires interact, so it's something like so. And remember, if you're doing it the way they suggest, you would have put on a shrink piece. I did not do that because I felt that if it's already got plastic on there, we're probably okay. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue into that corner and all the way up. Oop. So go into the window, don't need to go in the window. I'm going to take my bulb, put it into the corner on the fold that I just did. But it's not going to like, because it's quite determined to not go that way. one I'm going to have to face it to me. Okay, so it's in something like so. You can just about see that, I think. And then I'm going to hold that in place. Although I think it moved on me, little stinker. Doesn't help my clip moved on me too. Tricky. I'm going to say it's not. That looks okay. And then I'm going to run my wire going up here, and I'm going to do the same to the third one, and then we can move on. And this is the same, other than having the windows in. This is identical to how they are doing it. Okay, let me go and get a clamp. I'll be back. I'll get this one done. Okay, so all three of those are done. So next, and whichever way you're doing this, it's going to be the same. So far on this part anyway, it's identical. We are going to put the other side of the wall on. So even though this is not totally set, I think it will be fine. So what I'm going to do is glue the bottom and this side. I have to check myself. Other side. I can do it on this one. That's alright. We'll put it on this one instead. Good push down. With that excess. And this tape can go off and can go on the other side. Keep it in spot. Okay. So that one's ready now. So at that point they will get you to attach it to the main build, by the way. But obviously because I'm doing it slightly different, I won't be doing that. There's another part I want to put on before I do that. So on this side this time. As you can see, I coloured white on every edge. I wasn't sure which way I was going to go, so I was like, oh, that one went in easy. Always makes you worried, doesn't it, when it goes in easy. And again, I'm going to steal the piece of paper from the other side, because that definitely would have taken by now, by the way. It doesn't take that long. Not even wood glue, and it takes about 20 minutes really to have a hold. I mean, it's not fully dry, probably about 24 hours, but it's normally enough to hold this sort of thing in the spot. Oop, didn't quite mean to do that. Came out from the bottom. It's very loose, that one. And I've pushed it in. Right. Get there in a second. I keep pushing it in. Sometimes I have no strength, and other times I seem to have a lot. Normally when I don't need it to. Lastly, this one will go this side. And then what you'll do is you will thread your wires through the holes in the bottom of the base. I believe that's the next stage before attaching the two parts together. Yeah, you would do that, and then I did put some on there. And make sure the wires go through those holes. which they will line up with, which I will be doing, obviously. I mean, I've still got to do that. I'm just doing it in a slightly different order. It won't be long till we come up to that either. Okay, so my timeline's going to look a bit weird on this one because it's going to be all over the show. We'll see how I end up doing that timeline. Most of these aren't particularly strong fitting, by the way. Right, and the next part we are going to do is actually to do with the front, and it's to do with these notches down here, so I am going to give this a bit of time. And we have these pieces to go on, and what they're going to do is they are going to go, which is, you'll see why I want to leave it a few minutes, through here, like so. Actually, first of all, we need these pieces, so this one will go on. I wonder if I can do that one. So you want to push it through that, see the notch at the bottom there, where my hand is. You want to push it through there and steer it, and then we will be putting those on. Maybe I can do that. Let's see. Pushing the boat here. Am I risking it? That's the question. So I put it on the top of the tab and push it through. I'm going to do that with the others, and then we can give them a good few minutes before we mess around with these things, which is going to probably upset the apple cart a fair chunk. I'm changing things around. Okay, do the other two. And this eventually will hold flowers and things like that in. It's like a flower box. Obviously, if you do this on the model, then it'd be flat on the base. So some may prefer to do it that way. Me being a bit of a doing it my own way here. Not quite loose. This one's a bit bowed too. This one does not fit flush. The other one fit quite flush. This one does not. And I won't let it totally dry in case it needs some adjustments, but there is quite a gap on this one. Like I say, you can see that there's some sort of bowing going on. Still bowed and lying quite crooked. Well, probably could do with going up right. Let me just hold that for a few minutes. Anyway, I'm going to get into the third one and then I'm going to leave them to dry. Alright, I think we will say that's had long enough. So let's get rid of some of this tape. There's quite a lot of tape on it right now for different things. I mean, it's definitely not fully set, and that's fine. We kind of don't want it fully set, but we want it enough. Okay. Alright, then what I'm going to do, push those two to one side, is take two of these, and they have indentations in the middle, and you're just going to pop them through here. So, we're going to need glue, big wires, on here, and on these tabs. And then just put them through the holes. And they may or may not touch that stick. Mine are not, but they are even, so interesting. Right, let's see what it's like when I put the other one on. This one doesn't want to stay in. Okay, what I think I'm going to do is a small clip, like a little bulldog clip, and hold the top one in. Spot. So just a little. So it looks something like so, and just keep this one pretty balanced. Maybe they're not all the way in, I wonder. I don't think they are, you know. And I think that's where the problem comes. Alright, there's delivery, hold on. Okay, so what you need to do is make sure that your pieces are all the way down. See, this one's still not down. And then it should be in the right spot. So, and please, I'm not doing this on the house. So this side's in, just not this one. There we go, now it's in. And I will still clip that bar here to make sure that it is in spot correctly, but yes, that's what it was. So they have to go down quite far, and they feel like they're slightly too big, by the way, for it. Okay, just straightening it up because it's not that straight either. Okay, so what I'm going to do is line it up with the top here because I think that's where it's meant to go, and clip it together for keeping it in position. Which I keep knocking it. I get it in right, then I knock it. Okay, so it's all in on the sides, and the top part of the stick is touching that top one. Okay, let's do another one. Ah, wind is quite coming through, isn't it? Okay, so this time we'll put it in here, in here, and like I say, just make sure it's pushed all the way into these holes, and it does seem a little bit small for it. Okay, so I wonder if you can move it out and in, or if that's likely to break it. But they do seem just slightly too small. Oh, don't do too much. Don't do as much pressure as that. That kind of breaks the sides away. Could you imagine doing this with it upright? I'm sure people do. Maybe they don't try and get them all the way in. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just unlucky and mine are particularly difficult to go in. One, I don't think we need this. bottom bit off. I don't think we... I mean, they literally are a squeeze to get in here. There we go, that one went in fine. They're both in now. I know the bottom's fallen out. We'll get that put back on. Wish I'd done this when I just had that one piece. Oh, I couldn't because the sides stir. You can sit there a moment. So again, put some wood glue on here. And go for the push it together. That one's in. Actually felt it go in. And that one's in. Not easy, guys. Okay, I'm going to pop a bit of wood glue back on this side because it obviously came loose, and onto this bottom. And on to the, I think it's still on the inside of these actually, yeah. And pop this one back in, and then I'll sort that side out because I can see it's not lined up. Mine really is quite bowed, you know. Come off a second. Could have done this first, couldn't we? Where I need an extra pair of hands. Little ones. I need my granddaughter here to help hold these in place. This was definitely giving me a fight. Okay. Okay, so if you do it this way, maybe, I know it's wood glue, maybe do put those in first. I would have struggled to have done this on the model. I know a lot of you guys are a lot stronger than I am. And pop this one back in, like so. Oh, how I wish I'd done it the other way around. Oops. Quite mean to make all that noise. Already got rid of all my clips, unfortunately. Or rather the proper brackets I got rid of. Okay, and that one's in. That was quite the effort, it really was. Okay. Next, right, I'll get and do this one, save you watching the pain. But like I say, if I was to do this again, I would do it from when it's black like this and I don't have those sides on, because I think it could have been done that way, and I think this is rather the push. Alright, let me get, I know I'm carrying on. Let me get that done. Okay, so these have had plenty of time to dry, hopefully correctly. So these will be fully dry now. That one went crooked on there. I'm not going to worry too much. That's fine. Now it's time to put them on our model. So, and then I'll straighten up this wall. Went a bit AWOL on me. Didn't go AWOL, but it stopped being lined up anyway. So we're going to put them in our model. Find it where. And sort out the wiring. So now it's time. So let me get some of this stuff out of the way. So it's this part that you're going to need. And you have 3 holes, 2 on the right hand side. They're all on the same side. How silly. Okay, so let's see what they're saying. So the one on here is going to have the wire going down. Oh, no, that one's this one. How weird. Oh, it's because I'm not the right one. It's this one. It's the one with the wire going down this side. Goes on this one at the back with a single tab. And what you want to do before you do that is thread these wires through the hole in the bottom. There's one through, and the other one. And then we will glue a white piece in. So all it's going to need is a bit of glue on the back. If you're worried about whether these are straight, then pop a bit of glue on there. And again, I'm using wood glue on this because it is all wood, so it's the best stuff to use, really. And then put it through that hole, which it was quite loose for. So pull this wire a bit more and put it through to here. Just when I tested them all then. I was obviously trying to put them in crooked. And it will fit like so. And just make sure your wires are down. Okay, then we are going to turn it around and try and work out what they're trying to tell me here. So one of these is going to go, if that's facing me, come back, that's facing me, it's going to go in this one, the one with all the wires. So this will be a nice tight fit, I should think. And again, because they don't have ends on, they're a little bit more tricky to put through. Wasn't that bad. I was expecting worse. And then this one goes through here. And I can lift it up. Just knocked over my glue. So that's that one. Where's the other one? There it is. It's a grey one and white one. Just make sure that they're the right ones that I'm holding. Nope, nope. That one. Nope. Keep holding the wrong ones. That one. these two are the ones you want to get closer, so get those others out the way. You can sit on there a minute. And again, glue this one down. And like I say, these tops are quite loose anyway, so putting a bit of glue on them will help. Okay. And then just make sure that this one goes around all the other wires and goes into said hole. Just checking on the inside, make sure I haven't caught anything. It's looking good, guys. And those are in, and that's in. Okay, it kind of shows in front of the window where it went down this line. I guess I never glued it far enough down. And then the last one, which will now be going this way with the wires, so you need to thread these through the last hole and do exactly the same, so not too bad. I have known a lot worse. That said, I shouldn't speak too soon, still very early days, and at this stage you still wouldn't have done any of the windows or anything like that. After doing this, we're actually going to do the electrics for the whole thing. Okay, this one's not quite as keen as the other ones. Maybe I'm not quite lined up here. Oh, it's got, I think it got glue in it actually. Through you go. That's being really awkward. Can't see where to go. There's glue in there. There we go. Big hole now. Very big hole. Why? Why is it giving me a hard time? It's like something's invisible in there. Okay, you're in. Definitely glue had got in that hole, so 100% sure. Okay, I'll do exactly what we've done before. Glue on the bottom, and this is the one which I need to straighten this wall. And because I'm using wood glue, just touch it all over the show where you feel that is needed. And pull your wires a bit. Got glue all over me. And then put it in here. Nice and easy. Right. Can't really see which one it was now that wasn't quite lined up actually. Kind of fitted in there quite well. And that's all our wires are done. So I'm going to leave this for a minute or two, just to make sure that it's totally stable. That one wasn't quite in right. So it kind of wraps itself around, I don't know if I'll be able to show you. So that panel that went down, it kind of wraps itself around there. So that's the thing to bear in mind. This one wasn't wrapping around. Hence why I lose this one. But that's what you want. You want it kind of almost, not literally wrapping it around, but close to. Okay, I'm going to get a clamp on this one actually. This one's okay. That one's alright. This one needs to go in a little bit like so. And this one just doesn't want to. It says no. Just doesn't want to go on as much as I want it to go on. Okay. Alright, it's about right. So let's get the pin in this. Back to hunting the pin. Haven't played that game for a little bit. Alright, let me go and play it. Okay, I found another pin. Couldn't find it. I'm sure it will turn up. It normally does eventually. Okay, so now we are going to connect all the wires together. So we have our little box over here, and which has two wires coming from it, a white one and a black one. What you want is you want about a good centimetre at the end of pure wire. So we've got all the strands all over the show right now. We will be actually connecting this very soon, but at the moment we are just sorting out the wiring. And this is all going to eventually just go down into this part, I believe. Actually, I think it's this rests in here. Okay, these are very long wires, so if you want to cut them down, you certainly could, especially the ones for these. It's very long wires. You don't need them that long. Right. What's it? You know what those are. So I'm going to shorten these and then read on. So to shorten, just keep hold of these wires because you can use them as extension wires for when you have a model which is short on wire. I have had it, it doesn't happen often. And then just pull it so that just the wire shows. You can just about see that this bit. I don't know if that's any easier or worse to see. Yeah, kind of see it. So you have enough of that over, and do the same with the other one. And this is going to face, so that one, funny enough, is going to be the shortest, so it's going back there anyway. And then this one doesn't need to be long either, so I'm going to cut that one back. Just trying to think if there's any more wires to come in. I think that was it, wasn't it? I think we've done 5. One on this roof, one on here, one inside here, one on here, and one on each of the pillars. Yeah, I think that's it. So just pull the ends off, shorten them up. You don't need excess wiring. You can help it. And if you're not comfortable doing this, don't worry about shortening them. Just, you know, you can hide them. There's going to be enough room under here to hide the wires. But yeah, I'm going to shorten them. All coming off nice and easy. Some people do this with their nails, by the way. They pull them off. I have definitely done it that I have cut through them, by the way. So I'm not that much of an expert that I mean, it's all going swimmingly right now, but it's not always that way. It wasn't even worth cutting that tiny bit off, was it? Okay. Maybe a bit more. Kind of cut through that one now anyway. And then we're going to gather all the white ones up together and all the grey ones. Now, I will tell you what they're going to get you to do as well, because it's different to what I'm going to do. Have I got enough wire? Need a bit more on this one. There we go. Because again, I don't like to do everything the same. So, pull that off. Okay. So what they want you to do is you get all, say, your white wires together. So I've got there's 5 altogether white wires, excluding anything to do with this battery. By the way, it doesn't have a white one anyway. So you get your 5 white wires all together, and you might need to put this on its end. I'm hoping not, because it's not all dry, but I also think I do. So you get your white wires all together like so, and then what you're going to do is you're going to put a plastic sleeve over it. Remember the ones they wanted you to put on near the bulb? One of those. So it's like a wire sleeve for wiring, and you will put it on these, then connect the red wire with it and push, twist them all together, and then push the plastic, the silicone sleeve over all of them, the connection. So you wrap it first in paper, and then you do that. Mine all came out of sorts. So get them all together, then you'll put your sleeve on. So your sleeve will be sitting somewhere like this on your wires, somewhere down here on your wires. Then you connect your red one like so, like this. Connect them all together. Put your tape around. You're going to have tape. Put your tape around, and then when it's done, you will push the sleeve over the wires to keep them like it. That's it. I'm using wire nuts, a lot easier, and I feel more secure as well. There you go, nice and tight, not going anywhere. And then you do exactly the same with the grey wires. I'm just going to check myself here. Grey wires with black. Yeah. So I'm going to turn this up because I don't like it pulling. Oh, I lost my house. Lost my pillar. I knew that would happen with me messing with it before it was ready. Okay, back in you go. So get your grey wires. So again, make sure you have 5. 1 or 2. Line them up together like so. Gather the rest. Mine are all hiding. They're scared. Scared I might entangle them. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, well, that was 5. Get all your grey wires. I'm thinking, let's take it on the outside of those white ones. Line them up. Get more. And these are going to go with your black wire. I will show you a diagram of what I'm talking about as far as the sleeves go if you're not doing it this way. Twist your grey wires together. Bring your black one back up. Twist those. The lights come on. Good that I turned it off to secure the battery then. Not. Okay, and then you will poke them through the hole. Wire nuts have, you've seen my videos, you know this, but have a little hole at the bottom there. You're poking your wires that you've twisted together, and the reason I use these is because I seem to have trouble twisting them all together. They all want to escape. They don't want to stay together. They're being quite rebellious. Can't even get them in there. Okay. Oh, no. Just hold them secure. Don't know if all the lights are on. They're flashing away here. Let's see if we've got them all in there. You'll soon know if you've got them all in there when you give it a small tug. When I say small, very, very small tug. If you can pull any of them out, you know you missed, and start again. So that's quite sturdy, and that should have done the lights. Alright, so all the lights are working. That's what we like to see. And now we are going to put the two parts together. Darn it. It's wrong. Okay, undo all the wires. So I missed a step. Right, let's turn this off anyway. Okay, so let's undo them all. So on these side pieces there are holes. These wires all need to go through those holes. So know which way is going to go. So like this one will go through here. These two will go through here. Which of course now I've made them longer isn't quite so easy. There's one in. And then I'll literally repeat exactly what I just did. So I just missed putting them through this hole, that's all. Then all of those 6 wires on this other one all go through here. This one furthest away from you that you can't see what I'm doing, all go through here. So they're coming from here, so when we put it all together they go down there. So there's 1, 2, I think they probably work fine as they work, by the way, but I guess you could have caught them when we connect the two of them together, so that's probably why. Double them over and they will all go in. Wow, that was a shame. They were all lit up, looked really good. So this one will have 3 white and 3 grey going through it. And then the greys. Got glue all over my hand, I just noticed. It's getting a bit dark in here. Should turn the lights on the model, huh? No. Can't win them all. This one's quite the angle because it's got everything going on with it. And it has the most going through. Right, you prop yourself up there. So the white ones are all in, it's just the grey ones I'm having trouble with. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to attach this, I'm going to get them through and I'll connect them underneath. I think that'd be easier and then poke them back up. Wow. Having trouble seeing it. Okay, leave this one with me and I'll be back for the other one. Okay, those are both in, so I just got this one to go. Now, if you had done it the right way round and you haven't shortened your wires, you might want to wait until after you've done this part. The worst was doing that one with the 6 wires. It's quite a small hole. It's almost like it would have been easier to have put those little pieces in with the holes in. These pieces here afterwards. So I'm just going to get these onto here. And I assume that under here somewhere is the holes for this. So I'm just going to put them on with no glue. Shall I? Let's get the glue. Where is it? There it is. So I'm not going to put a lot of glue on, I will say. I don't think it's really going to need it, and I haven't test fitted this either, which is a bit worrying. And this last one on here. And these are our points that are going to hold this whole thing in place. So line it up. There's just a lot going on. So I lean back on my chair so I can have a good look at what's happening here and fall off it. And I'm just going to pull these wires through the bottom. Make life a bit easier. Not that one. Could see the wires sticking up there and I wasn't 100% sure where it was going on. And this one can come out too. Okay, these wires are in spots. Oh, easy fit. I have to be honest with you, I was expecting quite the battle. Going to get the battery box down the bottom too. And get these wires going down there. Fairly long wires. I'm just pulling them all through to the bottom, threading this one through because it wanted to go back. It still wants to go back. There we go, thank you. Okay, and line this one up with the bottom. Make sure your wires, wow, fitted into place incredibly well. Okay, and that's all on the base. Now we've got the wiring back to do. However, I want to leave this for a little while. I want to make sure that this one's come out. I want to make sure that this has totally taken before I mess with these wires. So I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to just line this up and put it back in again. Alright, right, while that is doing its thing, I'm going to pop these on. And all these do is sit on here, like so, covering up those little areas, indentations. So after all my painting the tabs, didn't really need to, because we are covering them up anyway. I just need to do that on all three, and that's these finished. But if you hadn't made your pillars like all this, then you would be doing your wiring. Actually, it does need it a bit. It doesn't quite cover them up, does it? You'd be doing your wiring, and you would be gonna do that at the back. What do you think, guys? What do you think on the instructions? It doesn't really say. I don't think so. I think it's meant to be about even here, like so. Anyway, what you'd be doing right now, if you were doing it by the book, is you'd be sorting your wiring out like I did that time. Then you'd be joining them together, and you would be putting them together like we're going to be doing, or like we have done rather, sorry. So you'd sort your wiring, put them together, then you would make these, put all the windows in because they wouldn't have been done, put this part in because that would not have been done either, and you would be doing that at this stage. So obviously I did mine differently, and I think it was, for me it was better. I actually think it would have been a huge struggle trying to put these on with it being vertical. I lost a window. I just realised one of my windows fell out. I have a missing one on here. Alright, I will go and hunt that down and get it on. And all the rest are on. Just that one got knocked off. I will go and find it. Alright, I'll be back in a moment and we will do this wiring. Alright, so I think I found the window. I put the piece of wood, the side piece here, on back to front, so the window was there, it was just on the inside. So I peeled it off and re-stuck it on, which it kind of wanted to definitely say no, let's put it that way. So it ended up being clamped. So I'm going to do these lights and then I think I'm going to call it for today. So I'm going to do the wiring and then I'll explain what we have left to do. So I don't want to put any pressure on anything. So we should have all of our wires. So let's see if I can remember which colour goes with which. It was white to red, was it? Or was it? I think it's white to red and grey to black to grey. Okay, so let's pull my white ones. So I should have 5 white. So again, always count them, make sure that you do have all of them and that they are, because they've now been poked through things, they are showing. Gosh, you made me jump. It's because she finished her food and helped the other dogs finish theirs and she thinks she deserves extra treats. That's what this is, which of course would be unfair. Although that my son's boy did get extra treats because he did finish all of his food. So twist your white ones together. I still will show you what they want you to do with that tubing, by the way. And then get your black one as well, which is quite long compared to the red one. The red one's quite a short wire. And make sure they wrap around that black one. Well, for starters, it's white to red anyway. Don't do that. Come back out. It's because black and white makes more sense to me than red and white. And I've lost one. Come back up. Even you up, guys. And the red wire, like I say, is definitely shorter than the black one, but the white goes with that. So battery box cover. So at the moment I popped it inside so it laid even, but I do want to leave this overnight before we do much more to it. So it's just one of these white ones just really wants to not play. And thread them through that hole, which again wants to be a bit challenged. Just because I've done it all once. It's like, did you really not do it good enough the first time? No, evidently I didn't. Go until it won't go anymore. So the blue, if you've got a selection kit of these, which I do, then the blue ones fit really well. The grey ones, which is for smaller wires or less wires, doesn't fit quite so well. It would be too tight in those ones. So get all your grey wires together. So I have 4. So we are missing one. There it is. I see it in the back here. Okay. Come on, out you come. It was being shy. Let's cover you up, madam. about to be picked up as well. And then I can get all this edited to go up so you see it. Last one in. Let's untangle you from all the rest. Okay. So put your grey ones together first. And then get your black one. I have to find the battery box again because I poked it inside. Which is fine, everything's really accessible from this side, but it won't be tomorrow. Tomorrow it's all going to be hidden. Right, that going. Okay, and let's find my battery box, which is at the top here. Not sure the purposes of these little strands going around, by the way. They don't, oh, I do now. So what you end up doing, by the way, is turning this on constantly, which is probably why I did have it on. So that's all our wires. Poke everything back inside. But I want to get the wiring box because I want to put the cover on it. So I'm trying to get it out the wrong way now. Oh, and I've undone the house. So, and that's where I wanted to leave it, but that's okay. So pop this on, the cover on. I'll get this house put back together and get it sitting overnight, it'll be a lot better. And then just put everything back underneath. And you need to go back on, my friend. And this piece is loose too. So the whole house basically shifted, by the way. So I will glue this all back in. Alright, so then what happens is, wherever that switch is on the outside, which I think is below here, oh, below this one, yeah, there it is. So you're meant to use that for your on-off switch right down here, because this is all going to be hidden, and you just leave your battery box on. Not my favourite thing to do, being I've had corroded batteries inside a model before now, but I will get this restuck down. That is where we are for today, so we've done quite a lot. Now, that wiring, let me show you the picture, what they suggest. So they suggest you gather your wires like here, you put this tubing on the wire, then you are going to connect everything and basically push that tubing over. I mean, they've just got it over all the loose wires. So whereas I'm using a wire nut, they're using the tubing for something kind of similar, but it won't be as strong. And they actually don't use any tape whatsoever, surprises me. But that's the length of your tubing over here, is 2 centimeters a piece if you're doing that. And then you go from here. Right, so this is what we are doing for today. So I'm done, going to get this put back on, leave it overnight, and zoom you out a little bit so you can actually even see it. Wherever my remote has gone, I'll zoom you out there. There you go. So that's what we're doing for today. So tomorrow, we may even finish. We will be putting a strip all around here, around the front here. That's going to hide all your wiring, so you're not going to really have that much access to it. We're going to put a base plate on, which will seal in everything else, which is just held in by tape, by the way. So it's one where you can quite easily remove. This looks so unsquare to me. I mean, I'm sure when I get the top down again properly and things, it won't be. It'll be a lot more squarer on the top there. But at the moment, it looks really, this one's square, but this one looks so off, doesn't it? Maybe it needs to go around a bit more. or something. Anyway, I'll sort that out. All right, so yes, tomorrow we will put the side in. Take that battery back box on. Like I say, it's one way you can pull it off if you want to. Then we will decorate the inside here, so we'll get all the decorations in that we made right at the beginning, plus some other flowers and things like that, and we might very well get all the rest decorated and finished. And then I will see if I've got enough grass left to just go around this top to do something with that, really. Alrighty, so any comments are more than welcome. Do please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I do appreciate everyone for their support. Do please take care of yourselves, because that's the most important thing. And I will see you all again for day 12 of this build. Alrighty guys, take care. Bye bye.